Hello all, welcome to the special sports edition of What's Up San Mateo. Today we have a panel of local sports enthusiasts who are going to talk about hot button issues in Bay Area sports. We're calling this episode, Grab Some Pine. Hello, and welcome to What's Up San Mateo. I'm Paul DePond. This show is produced entirely by students in College of San Mateo's broadcast and electronic media program. This episode is devoted to professional sports with a prime focus on Major League Baseball and our beloved San Francisco Giants. In the information and digital age, any fanatic can become an expert as knowledgeable as a sports journalist. Yet without the proper platform, their insights are never known. On this show, we'd like to give a few of them a voice. Today, our guests are three lifelong sports fans and Bay Area natives who love to discuss the game just as much as they enjoy watching it. Barry Gilbrecht and Brian Mangan are 49ers season ticket holders as well as frequent attendants of AT&T Park. Rounding out the panel is Matt Frazier, who played football here at College of San Mateo and prides himself in being a fantasy football league champion. They regularly participate in podcasts and will be doing a truncated version of one here for us. Baseball is in full swing, and that's the hot topic right now. Let's hear what these gentlemen have to say. Take it away, guys.
Well, hello there, San Mateo. It's Barry Baloney here with my buddies Frazier and Mango. And with the baseball season right around the corner, I figure we should talk about the San Francisco Giants and a few of the signings and re-signings they made this season. Take it away.
Well, I guess to start off, it's Hunter Pence signed for a 5-year deal, $90 million, which I think is awesome.
How many years?
5 years. 5 years. You got that? Yeah, 90 mil, 5 years. It's awesome. He's coming off probably one of the best seasons that he's had. 96 RBIs, 27 home runs, 22 stolen bases. I mean, it's the best he's ever played, and he's not that old. He's doing really good. So I think it's a great signing.
Can't argue much with the signing. A little iffy. He's 31, so by the time he's done, he's gonna be 36. In that ballpark, not a hitter's ballpark. And the way that Hunter Pence plays, you might see it becoming an issue, maybe injuries later in the year because he plays so aggressive. But really can't argue it. I mean, you look at, in comparison, Sin-Shu Chu signed with Texas for 7 years, and he's 31 as well. And that's the American League, and he can DH, but still, I mean, 7 years and however much money he got, 130 mil, I think. I'd much rather have Pence. I have to agree on that.
Yeah, 5-tool player.
Well, I think we can all agree Hunter Pence was a great value signing for the Giants. How about the pitching rotation? We signed Tim Lincecum, 2 years, 35 mil. Some people thought that was a lot of money. And then, a guy who's a lot like Lincecum, Tim Hudson, who many believe can come in and, maybe help him out, turn him into a better pitcher.
Well, with Tim Hudson, he's coming off that ankle injury, I believe it was. I mean, he's rehabbing. He's trying to get back. He's working extra hard. He threw 100 pitches the other day, and he's trying to get back into it again. Tim Lincecum, he's got a lot of incentives. Mm-hmm. He's getting $500,000 for another Cy Young if he wins that, $250 for MVP, and I think $100 for an All-Star invitation or voting. So I mean, he's got a lot of incentives to do really well.
Well, I hope he takes this serious because wishful thinking is that Tim Lincecum can restore his old form. 29 years old, 2-year, $35 million contract with a no-trade clause. I wonder why the Giants just didn't make him a qualifying offer, 14 mil, and let some other team give him big money and then get a draft pick for him. The guy's fastball is dropping. He's topping out at like 91 now, which his changeup is his out pitch. His changeup is what gets people out, and he's throwing 91. I don't know how effective that changeup's going to be.
Very true, but also his pitches they're lethal. But yeah, if his fastball isn't up to par, then his other pitches are more mediocre than dominant.
I just don't understand why 2 years, 35 mil. I mean, just go 1 year and then try to trade him if his ERA is hovering at 5 like it did last year. It just doesn't make sense with a no trade clause.
Well, I think with him being on the team, they have Vogelsong, who's coming off pretty much a horrible year.
Oh, terrible.
A horrible year.
Terrible.
I mean, and he pitched in that World Baseball Classic, which I think affected him a lot. But with him, if he's not hitting his corners, I mean, I'll give him till the All-Star break if he's not doing anything, and he'll be gone.
See, that's that's my point, though. Vogelsong, I know he doesn't have the Cy Youngs and the repertoire that Lincecum has, but I mean, Vogelsong 36, 1 year, $5 million. Of course, Lincecum wasn't going to sign for 1 year, $5 million.
No.
But come on, 1 year, $15 million then. Why not? Because Vogelsong, just like you said, injuries last year, he actually pitched better after his injury than before. Terrible year. And, you know, Vogie's a cutter guy. And if that thing ain't cutting, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have some problems.
Do you guys feel that Tim Hudson can help a guy like Tim Lincecum out? Because they're very similar in stature, and Hudson has a whole lot of experience in the major leagues.
I mean, that's to say it can't happen. I mean,
Hudson's
to me, like what, 90? So yeah, I'm sure he's got some stories to tell.
Hudson, he'll be the veteran, obviously, because like you said, yes, he's the older guy on the team, and he'll maybe be able to teach those guys. But I think Dave Righetti's got a big thing on all the Giants pitchers about not being so dominant anymore and striking everybody out, and more being a finesse pitcher.
Right.
And getting guys out, ground balls, fly balls.
Like Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine.
Exactly.
Adjusted
Because
to.
all these guys, I mean, they're still young, but they aren't prime time, 23 years old, getting up there all amped up. They need to use their brains more, and I think they're going to be all right.
Well, how do you guys feel about Barry Bonds coming in for, you know, what, a week, 10 days, something like that, to spring training and helping out the Giants hitters?
Personally, I think it's awesome that they gave him a shot back in the MLB. You know, he deserves it. He's the best hitter of all time, in my opinion, for stats that everybody knows of. Steroid, no steroids. Hitting a baseball is not an easy thing to do. It's hand-eye coordination, and steroids don't help your eyes. You know?
I don't think Barry Bonds is the best hitter of all time. I think he's definitely top 3. But
Arguably the best hitter of all time.
Yeah, I could see a case for it. I would say Ted Williams, but Bonds coming in as a coach. I mean, for what, 10 days? He's not going to be there for a while. To me, it's kind of a head scratcher, because it makes you think like they want him to come in there to tell him what? Tell him, hey, remember these words when you're in June and you're going through a slump.
Well,
Barry says to go to Balco. No, I'm kidding. Barry says to swing away. Like, I don't understand for 10 days. Like, is it a media stunt?
He has a lot of baseball knowledge, and I feel the Giants want to make him a part of their organization, because he pretty much got blackballed out of the league. He pretty much fell off the face of the earth.
Well, they didn't resign him.
Well,
so
for good reason.
But that's what I'm saying, though. I don't
With all the
understand
drama
why
behind it.
bring him back now and only for 10 days.
But I would just say I would be cautious with Bam Bam, because Bam Bam's done a great job. Bam Bam Mullins, that's the hitting coach now.
Yep.
I don't think that he deserves to get his job taken away just because Barry Bonds shows up for 10 days. No. But I feel that Barry Bonds being there, I think that's awesome for the Giants. I think it would be awesome for any team. I mean, Mark McGwire came back. He did coaching
Yeah, but he
for
actually
LA
has a
Dodgers.
job.
Yeah, he does. But he came back.
And he was on the Cardinals first as a
Yeah.
hitting coach.
I'm just
and
saying
came
that
over.
I think it's awesome that some of the great hitters in the game are coming back and giving back to the game itself.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's shift our focus to a NL West rival with the Dodgers, and their rookie sensation Yasiel Puig, who came off a great year last year and has had a little bit of trouble this offseason with the law and his weight and other things. What do you guys feel about his athletic ability and his maturity heading into another season?
I think regardless, when you play on the Los Angeles Dodgers, you squash a fly, and someone somewhere is going to put the spotlight on you, and you know, you're going to be on TMZ no matter what you do.
LA, it's a big media town.
Yeah, it's Hollywood. So, that's what's going to happen. But Puig, I really don't understand. I think all of this, most of it, where people, they just want to see him do bad because they don't want to see him do good, because we haven't seen something like this. I mean, I don't even think that Trout had an impact on the game the way that Puig has in the first month.
No, you're right.
It's amazing.
He came in and he was a spark plug for those guys. He was a spark plug.
Yeah.
He was hitting 500 in the first month or whatever it was. He had ridiculous
He
numbers.
was hitting 800 in spring training, and people are like,
Yeah,
it's spring
but
training.
now in spring training he's hitting $130 or $150, and he's not doing that good. And I think that's all because I think
thinking too much.
Well, the playoffs last year, he screwed up a lot of those games, not single-handedly, but he screwed up in big situations, and that could be playing in his head a little bit, you know. And because he was so good in the beginning, and he kind of tapered off. But I'm not gonna lie, Exactly.
He's
He's young. He has to mature a little bit, but I think he's got a little humbled since that playoff run and
I
some of the
think so.
mistakes that he made.
Well, let's wrap up this first segment with our predictions on how the NL West is going to shape up. It's looking like it's going to be pretty competitive, especially with the pitching rotations.
I would say, yeah, LA hands down. They're number 1. I'll take the Giants number 2 because I'm a Giants fan.
Because you're a homer.
Yeah, homer. Arizona 3, Colorado, and then San Diego. But all the pitching matchups, I mean, it's going to be ridiculous with the pitching on all those teams.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dodgers, Diamondbacks, a little bit of a dark horse. I'm going to say the Rockies are going to improve. Then the Giants and Padres are going to be terrible.
Well, you guys are both very intelligent, but you're both extremely wrong because the Giants are going to win the division and nobody else really matters, especially the Dodgers. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks, guys. That was a very lively discussion, informative. In our second half of our show today, I will jump in and get our guest's take on some of the more controversial topics in the current world of sports. The banter continues, so grab some pine, stick to your seat.
There is a whole other world out there that makes life possible on Earth. Yet it remains one of the biggest mysteries to mankind. Learning about it just got easier. Don't just read about it in books. Don't watch others do the exploring. Experience astronomy for yourself at the new state-of-the-art planetarium at the College of San Mateo. The sky is no longer the limit.
Don't just watch TV. Make it.
In the College of San Mateo's Broadcasting Arts program, you can get hands-on real-world production experience using professional digital equipment in the studio or field. Classes are held in a fully functioning broadcast station at KCSM-TV. Learn camera operation, audio engineering, lighting, producing, on-air talent, and more. Get turned on to a career in broadcasting at College of San Mateo.
Welcome to the second part of this special edition of What's Up San Mateo. In our first segment, we had a discussion about hot topics in Bay Area athletics, mainly pertaining to baseball and our beloved San Francisco Giants. In this segment, we're bringing back our guests to delve deeper into some controversial issues in the world of sports. Matt, Brian, and Barry, welcome to the second half of the show. This segment is similar to the first. However, I'll also be a moderator for our discussion. Each guest will have a chance to speak on each topic with a chance of rebuttal after all guests have weighed in. Those are the rules, gentlemen. There aren't that many, but there they are. Everyone ready? Let's do it. Let's begin.
Yeah.
So our first topic we're going to be talking about, guys, some rule changes in the MLB. We'll start with the expansion of instant replay and the challenge system. Matt, why don't we start with you? What are your thoughts about instant replay and managers having the ability to challenge plays?
Wow. I've heard people saying, why instant replay? The game's already 6 hours long. I'm exaggerating, but it's just going to slow the game down, this and that. You know what? I don't think it's going to slow the game down that much. And you know what? I'd rather have the game slowed by 10 to 15 minutes than people writing their governors telling them to fire the umpire.
I'm going to give you 2 points for that. I like what you said about slowing the game down. It might, but it's worth the extra 15 minutes. You get 2 points for that. Your rebuttal?
Well, I've long been against the idea of instant replay because I'm a baseball purist. I think the game's perfect the way it is, but it's hard to deny that we have the technology around nowadays that would make something like what happened to Armando Galarraga losing his perfect game on the blown call at first base. It would make that a thing of the past.
So do you want to elaborate, or is that
I think it's if it's going to help the game, if it's only going to take a few minutes out of their time to make sure that the call is right, I think it's a good idea. We have the technology around. And
2 points for you. Barry. Brian, your rebuttal?
So I agree with Matt. I don't think it's going to slow the game down unless you have the umpire Country Joe West out there who likes to take control of every game possible.
1 point for Joe West.
He might be going in there every 3 plays and checking it because he wants to control everything. But the one thing I have a problem with, I love the rule. I think that it's going to be great for baseball because, like Barry said, it's going to get everything right for the most part. But it does take away from the excitement of those old coaches that used to go out there and argue with the umpires. But now, usually coaches do it so that they get their team fired up. So they can still do that, but also, it's a way to get the plays right. So that's I think it's a good rule.
So that's for the rule changes. So we're going to talk a little bit now about the abolishing of the home plate collisions. Brian, you left off, so why don't we start with you?
I think it's a good rule. It protects the players, and that's what you see around sports all the time now, is that they're trying to protect the investments of the owners and the integrity of the game. They don't want it to turn in. I know a lot of older players, Brett Butler, I believe, said that he doesn't like the rule. He loves the collision at the plate, but you know what? It's to protect the players. Everyone knows it's kind of called the Buster Posey rule. But you don't need to go out of your way to hit somebody, If you're trying to score the run, then you score the run. If the guy's in your way, then that's fine.
Matt, rebuttal?
Well, what my esteemed colleague failed to mention is that collisions at the plate aren't entirely outlawed. Now, the rule specifically states that if the catcher is blocking the path to the base, hey, you're getting ran over, Buster. So, you know what? I like that. I like that they didn't totally outlaw it. But I understand that, they want to make players safe, and that's good because it's not football.
Barry, what are your thoughts?
Well, you guys pretty much touched on everything, but like
0
Brian
points.
was saying is these guys are making, multi-million-dollar contracts in their name, and these owners do want to protect them. You have a guy like Buster Posey, who's the cornerstone of your team, making a big chunk of change, and he gets taken out by some minor leaguer getting called up. Who knows what's happening to Scott Cousins now? Anybody hear from him?
I'm going to give you a point for remembering who Scott Cousins is.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate further, or is that what you got?
It's a good rule, but like they were talking about, it's not going to change the game a whole lot. If the catcher's in the way, he's going to get blown up.
Great answers, guys. Great answers. So we talked a little bit about Puig in the first half of the show. So let's talk a little bit about his attitude. I know he ruffled some feathers for pimping that triple in the playoffs. Is his attitude, is it arrogance, or is he just having fun out there? Why don't we start with you, Matt?
I know they're going to argue against me, but I don't think it's arrogance. I think that, have you ever seen a Cuban baseball game? Well, go on YouTube and watch one. They make Puig look like, I don't know, Johnny Bravo. That's just the way they do things. And you can't expect a 22-year-old kid, 23 now, to come over here and gets called up. He bats 800 in spring training, comes up, and you can't expect him not to do stuff like that. That's just the way it's gonna happen. I predict by age 25, you're gonna see a completely different person.
Brian, your thoughts?
I agree with Matt. I mean, yeah, he's a little over the top with how everything goes. With he pimps a home run. It wasn't even a home run. It hit off the wall, And to be honest, if he would have got thrown out at third base, he probably would have felt really bad and humbled about it. But you know what? Like Matt said, he's a young kid. He's gonna come up. He's gonna learn, And like we said before, he was hitting 500 in a month. His average, I mean, who wouldn't be excited every time you hit a ball that looked like it was gonna go? Yeah, you're in the pros now, and he's not going anywhere.
I was going to say, that's the thing, too, is the guy can pimp a ball and still end up on third base standing up. So you know what? More power to him.
Yeah. And Don Mattingly, he was just saying, man, he was like, he looks like a kid out there playing in Little League that's having fun. I mean, you're not going to yell at a kid for pimping a home run, but, you're going to tell him, hey, you better go apologize to the other person because it's unsportsmanlike.
Barry, your thoughts?
Well, the pimping, the hits and all that, it really doesn't bother me what he does on the field because the game of baseball has a way of balancing itself out.
You got a point for that.
If what the other team doesn't like what he's doing, they'll send him a little bit of chin music the next time he's up and back him off the plate and get him dirty.
I got a point for that too.
It's the stuff outside of the game that really bothers me. These reckless driving charges, this partying, shows up to spring training overweight. When is this guy who is a phenomenal talent going to finally realize that he has to put in the work to continue his success in the game?
I'm going to give you a point for that, Barry. So right now we have a pretty neck-and-neck race, guys. So we'll shift our gears a little bit to talk about MLB opening its season in Australia. I know Zach Greinke of the Dodgers expressed his disdain for opening in Australia. Barry, you left off, so why don't we get your thoughts about MLB opening in Australia?
Well, I understand the game of baseball really wants to spread itself out there and globalize the game and get more people enjoying it. But
Got a point for that?
the fact is, you're going, on a 20-something hour flight to make it to Australia to play these games. And then after that 3-game series, you're going to send the players back. It's going to take a little bit of an adjustment period. I don't think it's very fair to the two teams going over there. It should be an exhibition during spring training, and that's about it. I don't think these games should count.
Matt, your thoughts?
I understand. The argument's going to be that they make millions of dollars, just suck it up and go play in a foreign country to spread the influence of baseball. But here's the
point for that.
What if the jetliner gets commandeered and then it's missing over the Indian Ocean, like some other planes recently?
Getting a little topical here.
The thing is that, do they even play baseball in Australia? Yeah, they do, right? But, I mean, come on. Like, we need to go play in Australia, play the Diamondbacks? I mean, they're not going to go swimming in any pools in the outfield. Maybe they'll jump in the ocean.
I'm going to give you a point for the mention of the missing flight. I like the topical stuff, so I'm going to give you a point for that. Brian, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I don't see why. I understand that they're trying to expand baseball, but in South America, baseball is huge down there. I mean, Australia, yeah, you play baseball all over the world, but, soccer's a big sport around there, but, yeah, there were guys on teams on the Dodgers in Arizona. They have to strategize how they're going to be sleeping on the plane just to figure out how to deal with the time difference over there.
I'm going to give you a point
So
for that.
I don't think it's I think it's okay, but I think it should be exhibition. It should be maybe a spring training game or something.
Guys, we're running out of time. We got about a minute left. We'll get some quick thoughts about the Jeter retirement. Is it going to be overwhelming? I just kind of need a quick answer from you guys. Barry, we'll start with you. Is it going to be too overwhelming, the media coverage of Jeter?
Well, it's going to be anywhere, but I can't think of a more deserving player to have it. He's one of the best ever, and he deserves a good send-off.
Matt, your thoughts?
The answer is yes, as in the Yankees network. Yes, the Yes Network.
I agree that they're going to be a little bit overwhelming. And finally, Brian, what are your thoughts?
I just agree. He's the best. He's one of the best players of all time. Best shortstop. He's got a lot of awards for everything, but he deserves to have his final lap around the Major League Baseball.
We actually have some time to do a 30-second monologue for our winner today, which is going to be Matt. He got the most points. So, Matt, you have the floor. Talk about anything you'd like to talk about sports related.
Well, I'm going to talk about a recent employed again, ESPN employee. I'm not going to name names, Keith Olbermann, but goes on a rant about Barry Bonds. And I quote, "No acknowledgement of alleged steroid abuse. You, Barry, cheated the game. Atone or get lost." Well, Keith Olbermann, you've got fired from 4 different networks. I think you need to atone or get lost, buddy.
And that's all the time we have, guys. I am Paul DuPont saying goodbye, good night, and you are out of here.